Ancient spring water surges again, China's success of nature restoration. Clear water gushing from ancient springs has reappeared across China, turning dried channels into living streams and sparking wide public attention. The recovery of 102 previously dried springs is both a visible sign of improving groundwater conditions and a fresh reminder that ecological restoration can reconnect nature, culture, and local economies. Case studies of revival. Baodu Spring, Jinan. Baodu Spring in Jinan returned to a level not seen since 1966, with groundwater rising to 30.29 meters and the iconic spring surging like a wheel again visible. The spectacle has renewed civic pride and reinforced the spring's role as an urban symbol. Nanlao Spring, Taiyuan. Nanlao Spring at Jinsi Temple, once silenced by decades of groundwater depletion and coal mining, dried up completely in 1994. Through ecological replenishment, restrictions on mining, and habitat restoration, the spring naturally flowed again in May 2023 and has remained stable, restoring both the temple's water feature and long-held local memories. Baichuan and Xingtai Creative Town. Xingtai's Baichuan Springs, damaged by urban expansion since the 1980s, have seen dramatic recovery. 16 springs in the city center revived since 2022, enabling local initiatives to build a spring water economy that unites wedding photography, crafts, hospitality, and cultural tourism around renewed waterways. Why springs returned. Systematic ecological restoration including riverbank greening, reforestation, and wetland rehabilitation. Scientific water resource management that reduced unsustainable groundwater extraction and rebalanced surface-subsurface flows. Policy measures restricting heavy extractive industries and redirecting industrial practices to limit aquifer stress. Targeted ecological water replenishment projects that re-established natural outflow in historically depleted sites. These coordinated actions combine technical hydrology with governance reforms, producing measurable rises in shallow and deep groundwater that allowed springs to re-emerge. Cultural and economic resonance. Cultural renewal. Springs are repositories of local identity and memory. Their return revives rituals, storytelling, and design inspiration that link contemporary creativity to long histories. Creative industries, designers, cultural entrepreneurs, and artisans use spring motifs in products and public space, embedding the springs into everyday urban culture. Tourism and local economies. Restored springs attract visitors, stimulate small businesses, and enable clustered local industries to form around water-based attractions. Civic meaning. For residents, flowing springs signal the health of the urban environment and the resilience of shared heritage. The spring's revival demonstrates how ecological recovery becomes a platform for cultural continuity and place-based economic development. Lessons and outlook. Restoration works when science, policy, and local stewardship align. Sustained monitoring and adaptive management are essential to keep springs flowing. Preventing relapse requires long-term limits on groundwater withdrawals, land use planning that protects recharge zones, and continued investment in green infrastructure. Scaling the success depends on replicating governance models, sharing technical knowledge, and ensuring local communities remain partners in stewardship. If these practices persist, more dried springs should regain vitality, delivering visible landscapes of clear water, green banks, and fish swimming in shallow bottoms, and reinforcing the value of ecological civilization. The return of 102 ancient springs is more than hydrological recovery. It is a living testament that careful stewardship restores natural systems and renews cultural life. As springs surge and reflect the blue sky, they offer a clear lesson: protecting water is protecting memory, ecology, and future prosperity.